This time I'll call the March 12th, 2020 meeting to order for Dickson County Commission. Would you please stand and join in the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First item we have is that of the approval of the agenda. There are two additions that we have to the agenda. First, to review and consider bids to purchase a replacement pickup for road and bridge. Then also the second item is to review and consider bids to purchase a new copier for the appraiser's office. And I'd move that we approve the amended agenda.
I'll second it.
We have the motion and the second for approval of the amended agenda. Any questions or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The consent agenda includes the minutes of the March 5th meeting. It also includes the expenditures, fund expenditures, $1,764,682.01, and then also abatements of $234.70.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
We have the motion and second for approval of the consent agenda. Any discussion or question? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Commission comments, Craig?
Yeah, last Friday, attended the North Central Regional Planning Commission's home ownership program for Dickson County. It's called Four Rivers. You know, spoke about it at our work session. I think it's a good program for Dickson County. We will be attending a meeting this afternoon, but I'll let you discuss that, Lynn. Thank you.
Okay.
I
Ron?
don't have anything, then. Thank you.
Okay. As Craig mentioned, we're going to attend a tabletop meeting, and just is something that it gives us a chance to kind of review on how we would handle special situations that would occur. That's going to be at Clay Center. Also, we had our department head meeting this morning and had the updates as far as the various departments. And then also we had members of the Fair Board in to discuss some of the projects they're working on. One of the things is they're putting in a building that's going to help with the showing of the livestock, swine, sheep, and so that's an exciting project. They're kind of doing, you might say, a partnership. I think Rawhide is going to assist them on some things. They have some local builders, and then I think they also utilize a lot of volunteer efforts on that. And so they do a great job out there. We also discussed a little bit about some of the transitional type things that will take place when the county starts utilizing Sterl Hall next fall. And so we'll continue open discussions on that. Any other comments that anyone would want to bring up? We do not have any proclamations, public comments, or at this time, and we have no one here for public comments, so we'll move on to reports of county officers. Brad?
Well, as you heard in the department head meeting, we've been busy this week dealing with the what's been coined as the COVID-19 virus that's going on, and trying to taking steps to mitigate any issues in Dickinson County. Obviously, we haven't had any reports yet, but from what we're told, it's not a matter of if, but when it does get here. So we've instituted a number of steps all the way from putting information on our county website and getting that out to the public on how to safely take steps to prevent themselves from being exposed, to instituting extra water wipe downs and sanitary conditions here in the courthouse and in our county buildings, and doing that every couple hours. So we're doing what we can. We're staying on top of it. The health department is having a daily briefing with KDHE out of Topeka, who's talking to all the health departments. And so as things develop, we'll keep on top of that, keep everybody posted. So at this point, we're preparing for the worst and hoping for the best, like any situation like that. So As Diane indicated also, we're pleased to announce that we have hired a replacement for Randy Barton, a young man out of Reno County that is working in a similar position down there. And we interviewed him, he interviewed very well and is excited to come up here. So he'll start on the 30th of this month, and that'll give him about, it's gonna be 4 weeks, but I'm sure Randy will have some time off in that last month that he'll wanna take, so. Could be up to 4 weeks, but a couple weeks working parallel to Randy and getting a feel for how things are operated out there, so. Much easier than the search for county engineer and some of the others that we've had, so.
Question on that, is he gonna have all the certificates, or is there anything that Randy does that he doesn't do down there
He
probably?
has most of them now. The only thing that he's not familiar with is noxious weed.
Okay,
So that'll be a little new to him, so it may take him a year or two to get up to speed and certified on that. However, the nice thing is, we've got Steve and Ron out there that are certified.
Fine.
So, it'll be a little bit of a learning curve for him, but he's up to the challenge, and so we're comfortable that he'll be able to pick up on that pretty easily, so. But as far as the sanitarian and all the
Yeah.
other duties, that's what he does now. And he's actually got a degree from Wichita State in that area, so he's very proficient in it, so. Martin received earlier this week a price from APAC for the asphalt purchases this year. And I wanted to bounce that off of you, make sure you're comfortable with it. The good thing is, it's $52.60 a ton, which is the same price as last year. It hasn't gone up any for us, which is, in my reaction, was remarkable. So we will, without any objection, we'll go ahead and sign that agreement with them and get it back to them. $52.60 a ton, and the amount of overlay that we'll do equates to a little over $1 million, but we're getting it at a good price, so, we're happy that they were able to extend that to us for another year. I think that's about the 3rd year in a row, if I remember right, that it stayed the same price, so we're pretty happy with that. And then you've got in your packet an update on the jail construction from our meeting Monday. And we looked at the pictures a little bit here and before we started the meeting, but just a couple highlights on that. The deep footings outside the northeast corner of the courthouse here are poured and done. They're ready to put the foundation walls up on, and that they were gonna start doing that this week. The higher walls on the south, east, and west side of the actual jail portion are all up to height and done, and they've got all the electrical and the plumbing conduit all in the ground, and next Thursday, they're scheduled to pour the floor inside the jail area. So that'll help tremendously when dealing with the weather, because if it rains on concrete, you can go to work. If you're dealing with a muddy mess out there right now, so. Let's see. They're still on schedule for the 15th of November to be completed, or a little bit sooner. They're also continuing to do as much of phase 2 in the courthouse as they can during this period of time. You heard during the work session some noise and stuff, and we've seen some contractors going into the electrical room over here, so they're working on that. And things continue to progress, so. The next meeting, which we'll have, is on the 23rd in the morning, and then that afternoon, I'm having the architect and the construction manager stick around, the superintendent, and attend a meeting with all the department heads and elected officials and myself that are gonna be involved in the relocation. And as we start brainstorming what that will look like and making those plans, I know a couple meetings we've had, there were questions asking me that I couldn't answer that dealt with the construction, so I want their expertise present at that meeting so we can start moving forward on that and making those plans, so. And I think that's about all I've got for this morning.
Okay, thank you. Doug?
Moving forward on the tax sale, so that's online, that should move forward, and we'll take care of that at the end of the month. We had one of our members off of the contract on the Indigent Defense Fund was announced that he'll be resigning his position, so I've got another attorney lined up, and that's all ready to go, and that'll be effective July 1. Same terms, same conditions. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. we'll go ahead and move on to notices and communications. We have from OCCK, which is one of the groups that they service this area, but also that they're part of our budget, and just an update, and their director had received a Distinguished Leadership Award, and they have other things in there. We also have received from the Kansas County Commissioners Association, the purpose of the letter is to inform us that there is a vacant position. It previously was held by Ben Bennett. This position shall be filled by the Executive Committee of the Kansas County Commissioners Association as provided for the Constitution. And so if there are interested parties, they should submit a letter of self-nomination with the signatures of 4 commissioners from 4 other eligible counties in the highway district. And so this would be something, Ron or Craig, if you're interested in or know of someone, it's something for you to consider.
I got a letter.
You got-
Yeah.
We also have from Pew and Pew Law Firm, and it's a default journal entry judgment, and this is something we were aware of. And so we'll go ahead and, it's just on a property where someone was deceased, and it's just kind of more of a housekeeping item. And I believe that's all we had. Was there any other items that anyone would want to bring up or have a question or any information you've received?
I never got it on your Peter Lynn.
Okay. We'll go ahead and move on. There are no resolutions, but we do have a couple of items that were added to the agenda, and so we can consider those at this time. And the first one is to review and consider the bids to purchase replacement pickup for road and bridge. Brad?
Okay, this is a purchase in our capital plan for, to replace one of the foreman, what we call foreman trucks for the road and bridge department. We currently have 2 of those that are 2005 model Fords. They have utility beds on them. One was used by the bridge foreman, the other one was used by the highway, or the road foreman. They are due to be replaced. Martin has chosen only to replace one at this time because of the numbers we have and the restructure that they've done. He only has one, and that's Mark Anguano that kind of manages both crews. And so he really only needs one pickup. The other one we will probably retire over to the transfer station and take the older one that's even older yet and sell it or surplus it. So we've reached out to the dealerships. In this case, I contacted Davis Moore. They don't do a state contract for the 3/4 ton pickups, but they do have what they thought was a lower price, so I got that from them. I also went on, we're members of the NJEPA, the National Joint Purchasing Alliance, through the National Auto Fleet Group, which gets us a discounted price on vehicles it's only available for counties and government institutions or entities. And I priced a Ford, although it's an F-350, they didn't have an F-250 available, and I priced a Chevy Silverado through them. You can see those prices on there. Then I also reached out to Home Automotive and asked for a quote from them, and they gave us a quote which ended up being the low quote of all 4 of them at $30,975. That's a couple thousand lower than the NJPA price online for the same exact pickup. The only difference between those 2 is Homes can order it without the bed. We can't get to spec that through online through the NJPA stuff, but we don't want the bed anyhow because we're gonna put a utility bed on it, so they can order it without the bed, and so our recommendation is to make the purchase from Home Automotive for the pickup. We would, for $30,975, that funding would come out of our capital improvement fund, which currently we've got $75,000 earmarked in that for this replacement. Once we get the truck, then we would take it to Manhattan and have the utility bed put on it and have it finished that way, so.
What's the price of utility bid then, Brad?
$7,200, and that's installed, so. But that's for a 3/4 ton, four-wheel drive gasoline engine, so. I thought that price is pretty good. I was pleased with Holmes sharpening their pencil, so.
I'll make a motion to accept, the home Chevrolet, price on the pickup 4x4 3/4 ton pickup for $30,975.
Second it.
We have the motion and the second to approve the purchase from Home Automotive, $30,975. Any other discussion or question? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. The next item that we had to add on was replacement for a copier for the appraiser's office. Brad, if you,
Yeah, this is also in our capital plan. Bruce's copy machine is due to be replaced. He currently has a Xerox in place that I think is about 6 years old or so, I don't remember for sure, but he obtained bids from 3 vendors, and you can see the prices there. Sharp from Central Office Products, $81.99. The Savin from Century Business, a comparable machine, was $87.20. And then the Xerox Ultralink was $70.92 with trade-in. So we don't get anything out of the old machines when we sell them, so if they'll take it away, that's even better yet. So I'm sure Barb can attest to that. So our recommendation would be to contract with Xerox, which is Image Quest out of Salina, at their quoted price of $7,092.60. And again, we have $8,000 funding in the capital plan to cover that expense, so.
And they service the machine?
They do. Yeah, it's a maintenance agreement that for so much a copy, and I think, it's like 0.007 cents of black and white and 0.02 cents a color copy. They provide the toner and all the maintenance for the machine, so. And that's consistent with all three of the vendors. They pretty much all do that, so. Well, I've got the prices there, yeah, 0.006 and 0.05 for color, so.
and it is a low bid, it's a rather competitive bid, which is always good.
Yes.
Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
I'll second it.
We have the motion and the second that we do go ahead and take staff recommendation on this for the color copier from Image Quest, $7,092. Any other discussion or question? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Then I do have one other brief thing that I don't know that it requires action, but John brought it in just before the meeting. It's the grant application for our KDHE grants for the health department for this year. We're requesting $110,976 in grant funds for the various grant programs, and it just requires your signature along with John's to apply for that, so
Probably be better to formalize it with a motion.
I think so.
So is there a motion to approve that grant?
I'll make a motion to approve the grant.
Second it.
We have the motion and the second for approval of that grant, and I think it's gonna need at least
Just yours.
one signature, okay. Any other discussion? This is for the state of Kansas KDHE. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Is there a motion
So
to
moved.
adjourn?
I'll second it.
We have the motion and second for adjournment. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. You can stand up and leave.